Welcome to the Hasn't Been 3 Days podcast with your host Justin and BJ. When we talk about 3-day old news, sports, and whatever else we want to talk about, you, the MVP listener, you listen in, you hate on our takes and opinions, but just don't let us know unless it's been 3 days. So we're back for another episode. We got a very special episode for you tonight, MVP listeners. So if you're still listening to us after 15 episodes, you have waited for the best episode ever. So we are excited to bring you the Guys podcast, as we have been able to finagle all of our past guy friend guests that we've had on in one night. So we are excited for this. So we're looking forward to it. Before we jump into it, Justin, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, doing good. It's Thanksgiving week, finally. Favorite time to eat, favorite time of the year to roll your scales backwards, and so you can gain more weight.
It's just like daylight savings. You just roll that back 10 pounds, and you can eat as much as you want. That works.
Yeah. So
I do that every Tuesday anyway.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or after Taco Bell.
Or usually it takes care of itself. But
Yeah,
we
fair.
work it out.
That's fair.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Thanksgiving week, short week for work, big week for family. It's a great time to just have a good time. So what do you got for us tonight, Justin?
Well, tonight, special guests, we have Jeff from previous he was our last guest, right?
Yep.
Of the guys. So welcome, Jeff.
What's up? How are you?
Sup? Doing good, doing good. And we have Brady.
Hello.
He's going by a different name tonight, but we might get into that later. We'll see. But Brady's here with us, and then last but not least, my brother, famous Nate of
I
story
can't even
fame.
say hi. You won't even say hi for my intro.
I'm gonna mute you.
So glad to be here, BJ, Diane, Jeff,
Nate.
Justin.
Diane.
It is a privilege to have you guys on. I know when we started this podcast, so we talked about this a little bit with each of you individually, but Brielle and Brenton were kind of the catalyst for it. But then when we dropped it in the group chat, you guys couldn't believe it. And then here we are 15 episodes later, and now you guys are our guests again. Either we've run out of content or we just really like you, which I think it's that one. I think it's the latter. I think we just really like you. So
I think there's just more. There needs to be more of these guys because they end up finding all these stories that they make up about us, and sometimes that's good and bad.
Yeah, I mean it works, and I love how it's transpired over the years of our friendships. I mean, Justin and Nate and Jeff have been friends probably all your life. You've known each other forever, and then Brady and I entered the picture later in the 90s, and the overlaps with people leaving and coming back and all the things. But the five of us have always been friends, and I think it's really cool how even through all of this, we just pick up right where we left off, and the jokes keep flying, the making fun of each other keeps flying, and whatever it is. So it's pretty awesome. So thanks for being on, guys.
Yeah,
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
So what's everybody got planned for Thanksgiving this weekend? Jeff, what do you got going on?
Ours is pretty low key. Mom and Dad are going to come over on Thursday, and we'll hang out a bit, and that's pretty much it. We don't have much going on. Hannah's big into theater. She wants to go see Wicked, so I'm going to take her to go see Wicked on Friday. Otherwise, not much. No activities, no soccer, no nothing. So hopefully pretty low key.
Yeah, what about Brady? Brady, what you got going on Thanksgiving?
So-
You cooking everything?
No, we'll be over at my parents' house, and there'll be my family, my parents, and then Logan will be with us as well. So I'm not cooking much. I'm in charge of the broccoli salad, so I think I can handle that.
Nice. And last but not least, Nate, you get the privilege of hanging out with me.
I'm going to go see my parents, and then there's other people that I'll see, but mainly my parents. It's nice to see my nephew and nieces, but that's about it.
You don't like to see Becky either?
really?
Wow, long hesitation.
Just
Wow.
kidding. No, we're going up to Lincoln. We'll be there Thursday morning because we don't eat till Thursday afternoon. So we're gonna get up Thursday morning, drive up there, be there till Sunday. I'm hoping I could talk in Taylor to go to a Lincoln Stars game because they're playing Saturday night. And Justin, you have another Thanksgiving, so you're not around.
Yeah.
So I really want to see a Stars game. I haven't been there in forever, but
Lots of good
If you
memories of the
can't-
Stars games.
If you can't convince Taylor to go with you, I think Jeff lives in Lincoln. Maybe he would go with
oh,
Yeah,
you.
he's
Jeff
on the
goes-
Wicked.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't say what night he
It's-
was going to Wicked.
It's funny because I don't know how much you come up here and we go to Kansas City all the
And
time.
you never see
No.
each other.
Never.
You know, we're changing that next year.
Is your
Let's-
brother
let's
coming
change
up,
that.
Jeff?
No, I think they're coming up for Christmas.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
No, we're gonna change that, Jeff. We're making that's our New Year's resolution.
All right.
We're gonna see each other once every
Who's-
10 years.
Is Jeff gonna see you before he sees me? And Jeff and I live like 3 miles away from each other.
We're about due to run into each other somewhere.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I do have to give kudos to Jeff because Jeff came out here to Oregon to for his family vacation, and I got to see him, and that was pretty cool.
Specifically just to see you.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was gonna say that, but I
only
didn't want to
reason.
offend your family.
Yeah,
But
that's all
um,
we came out for.
and Jeff told me when we were having dinner, he said, we need to really reconnect with everybody, and Jeff pulled together the group chat, and Jeff pulled us all back together. So kudos to Jeff for really kicking this off. So I think if Nate's taking a olive branch there and saying, "Hey, we're gonna do this," now you got some accountability, Nate. It's time to. I guess we're all adults now,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So
Well, the nice thing is I only like to see half the people when I go to Lincoln. So I'm like, it's time to go see other people.
there you go.
I like how Nate's gonna be in Lincoln this weekend and like could easily hang out with Jeff, but he's like next year, Jeff. Next year, this all changes."
Yep. Next year. I gotta pray about it.
Yeah, you gotta pray about it.
I think it's got to be a 4th of July reunion to blow up some
Oh
mailboxes.
yeah.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
Yeah, so I was thinking about every 4th of July. I think about the things we used to do. My favorite thing to do was always when Nate would go out to like light something and we'd throw ground
Just a
bloom flowers
roast.
at him.
Yeah.
And now they
Did not
have
like that.
those things that like zip up in the air.
Mhm.
Like, oh man, those would have been so much better.
Yeah, it might get caught up his skirt though.
Speaking of that,
I was
think
just
that's
gonna
one of our- Just kidding.
No. we made the mistake of asking the guys what they wanted to talk about tonight, and we got
I didn't say
very interesting topic discussions that could make us go viral or get us canceled or one of the two things. But I think we are gonna do something special here tonight. I think we're gonna bring on a guest. I didn't tell anybody this, but we're gonna have a couple guests on the night.
thought we were the guest.
No, you're like a regular occurrence now. This is your second episode.
Oh.
Well, we're gonna hopefully bring on somebody
There's no
here.
royalties though. No royalties. So
Yeah.
we're not there yet.
No.
So I'm working on getting a couple people to get into the studio here. So we're gonna there's gonna be a blast from the past. If
You,
you had
you
to-
should give us clues and we get to guess who it is.
Well, the first person that's gonna be coming on, man, I'll give it away though. Oh, geez. He had a really funny artwork on social media after a certain person's event in their life.
Bill Malcolm?
You got Phil?
I don't
Where
know.
did you track
Phil?
him down?
Well, I found him somewhere, but yeah. Do you remember that? I just laugh every time about that artwork that comes across my memory in Facebook. Oh my gosh, when he did it like in what did he do it in like Microsoft?
Microsoft Paint. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so we're gonna have. I'm trying to get him to come on right now. We've talked about Phil a couple times in the episode, or somebody has. I think somebody talked about him peeing off the back of a car, and
Yeah.
so maybe he needs to come in and track down. But I don't, I hadn't. I've run into him once in a while, in Lincoln when he was down, but I hadn't seen him in a long time. And when we were talking about putting this episode together, I was like, maybe we should bring on some special guests with us that we all had interactions with, mainly you guys, because I was older and wiser, I guess.
No, you went chasing after a girl. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. How
Facts.
I get facts. So,
Hey!
Malcolm.
There he is.
Well, I
I
can go now.
Well, hello.
Push the leave button.
no. Well, welcome, Phil. They told me to give you some clues about who's going to be on, and Brady got it right away. Or, as well, not everybody can see, but he's going by Diane tonight. So,
Well, go back though and say what the clues are, and I'll see if I can guess them.
It was one
really
clue.
good artwork after somebody's life event.
Oh, is it Phil?
Yes.
Yeah, yep, you're a good job. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I laugh every year when your memory comes up on Facebook of those
Yeah.
Microsoft Paint.
I put a lot of work into that.
The real
yeah.
question is, do you have it framed in your house somewhere?
I don't, but I do just really remember, that was back when we were still using desktops for everything. So you had I had the actual mouse, and I was like dragging it around to draw all this stuff. And I remember I did like one of them, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna keep going. And then there were, I don't know, I think
4 or
6
5
or
of
7.
them.
I don't know, there were a lot of them by the time we were done.
Yeah, I think you
Very
called me a giant in one of them.
Yeah. It was very demure.
Uh-oh. Word of the year.
I was just saying, it made it dictionary.com word of the year, didn't it?
You
Yeah.
need to get that
Just read
artwork in the
that.
gallery, Phil, because, I mean, a banana taped to a wall got $3 million. So.
True. That's true. I haven't tried marketing it as higher art, but
A barbecue place here put a rib on a wall with duct tape. That was kind of funny.
nice.
So, well, Phil, what have you been up to, man? What's new with you? Where are you living nowadays?
I live in Omaha. My wife and I live kind of like in Midtown, close to downtown, close to the interstate, able to get to work pretty easily. It's nice. We've got 2 kids, 2 3-year-old girls, Amelia and Lily, and they are at that age where they're kind of a mix between like the most joy you've ever experienced and also just like existential terror all day at all times.
Yeah. What's one fond memory you have of hanging out with this crew? Brady, Jeff, and Nate and BJ. Probably you didn't hang out with me too much, but these guys you did though. I've heard some stories.
I was thinking about this the other day. I listened to like 5 minutes of 3 episodes, so I know.
Hey, thank
I
you,
know
by the
the
way.
whole
Thanks by the way.
Just kidding. So I was thinking about this the other day, and I had a really strange and surprising one. I have this like really sharp memory of us having for maybe like 1 week, like an amateur boxing league.
Oh jeez.
And it was just in Brady's backyard. And it wasn't there weren't really any rules. Like league is maybe in quotation marks, because I think it was just like somebody's parents bought them boxing gloves. And so we would just kind of like go out and wail on each other in the backyard for a few minutes. But I don't recall that there were any sort of rules or time or anything. And I also remember, I don't know how it went for everybody else, but I had like a very low pain tolerance. And so, like, I don't know. I would usually end the match as soon as a semi-real punch got landed on him. Like it was kind of like, all right, that's enough. That's enough.
I'm good.
Like we can all agree that we're tough now.
It was probably when you were just fighting my sister, though, weren't you?
That's fair. That's fair.
Those were always verbal.
Good point. Good point.
Who was the best
Bethany and I had
boxer?
a complicated and deep relationship for an 8th grader and a 9th grader.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, I'm not going to try to interrupt this, but we have one more guest that just popped in the studio. It's Evan Offit, or Evan
Yeah. it's not
Bosinger.
Oh my
Hey,
Well, we know her as that.
Hey,
Hey, friends.
Hey, Evan.
Hey, Evan.
So my surprise to you guys is bringing people from the past that I thought it'd be kind of fun to listen to stories about what they've. Evan's told me she's listened to most of our episodes, and she's like, "You guys, I don't know about you guys." Yeah, Evan, why don't you expand
Y'all were
on that a
pulling
little
all
bit?
kinds of crap.
Yeah.
Y'all were pulling all kinds of crap behind. I had no idea the questionable and straight up terrible decisions you were making.
Those were all
which
Justin's
Justin said-
decisions.
No.
To which Justin said,
I said,
didn't want to disappoint the office.
yeah, we just didn't want to disappoint the office.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Don't want to do that.
I didn't want Brenda to cut my hair wrong or serve me the burnt side of the pizza or something. So, but Evan, what have you been up to? What's new in your life? Where are you located at now?
I am back in Sapulpa, Oklahoma. So Brady and I got to be on staff with him in Chicago. And then when he moved down here, I got to come on board, and then I left to get hitched. But as things come full circle, they did. And so we're back in the Tulsa area. I'm a children's pastor again at Regency Park Church. And yeah, loving married life. We have 3 dogs, and they're nuts. And just as a side note, I found photo proof of some things today unexpectedly.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, great.
So there's some fodder for the gram.
Uh-oh. Well, I don't know if that'll make it there. I think our social medias are down now. Yeah, no.
Hasn't
What
been
it
3 days.
it hasn't been. Yeah, you have to wait 3 days at least. But Phil was talking about right before you came on. Phil was talking about a story he remembered of growing up and something that comes to mind. What is something with this group? You might have interactions with all of us in different ways, but what's one thing that stands out in your memory hanging out with us or being around some of these guys? Probably the better times than hanging out with me. But
I tell stories. Growing up, I always say I was one of the guys, and the main point of proof I have in that is I remember clearly standing in the church lobby. I don't know if it was a Sunday or a Wednesday, but it was Valentine's Day. And I was standing there, and all of a sudden, I think it was you, Justin. You go, "Evan, come on, we're leaving." I was like, "Okay." I followed along, and I was like, "What are we doing?" And it was like guys' night, my house. We're watching Rush Hour 2. And so we all piled over to your house to watch Rush Hour 2, and it was the guys and me. And so that was one thing that came to mind.
What a selling point! How could you have said no to that offer?
Yeah, Rush Hour 2.
Rush Hour 2, yeah.
Get in, Rush Hour 2. No explanation, no convincing.
Just it was more of a
It's
kidnapping.
hard to say.
Oh, yeah,
Who knows if I've
kidnapping.
even seen the first one.
Yeah, you don't really need to for those
No.
movies. But yeah, growing up, we were all we would hang out over at the office house a lot on the trampoline in the
Yeah, they have a
backyard.
trampoline.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I'm surprised no one in this group got hurt off the trampoline back in the day. Seems like somebody should have, but
I think
My
Bethany
sister did.
been on it at one point, but that's it.
yeah, verbal abuse.
Yeah, we had a verbal argument. I think my feelings got hurt at one point.
Oh goodness. Well, yeah, I don't know where to go with this right now.
I think it's interesting that you asked them. I want to just ask, you've listened to a little bit of the podcasts, some of you just a few minutes, but Phil, there's a couple of stories we've told about you. Is there anything that you just want to set the record straight? Did we get wrong? We want to make sure we have integrity in our journalism. But we want to give you the opportunity firsthand if you need to set the record straight. We couldn't remember if you actually got out of the car to pee that night or if you peed off the back of the car.
I don't have a recollection of that happening, but in fairness, like I peed off a lot of stuff. And so like, I don't remember that happening, but it doesn't mean that it didn't. And so I can't deny it. I can tell you that. I don't know if I have anything to set the record straight on other than I don't, and maybe you said it and I didn't hear it, but I don't recall anybody talking about my truly prodigious Bible quizzing career.
Oh,
like just absolute knock your socks off
Domination.
Beast mode teen Bible quizzing.
Yeah. You said
Warrior Mad style.
Oh,
That's nice.
Oh, well, yeah, that's definitely gonna have to go on Instagram.
Yeah.
Speaking of Phil quizzing, my quiz percentage was way higher because I would quiz on Phil. I wouldn't study, so I would just get up and say a really generic answer, and the red club would say, and Phil would stand up and challenge the quiz and three.
I think
Thank you, Phil.
is Brady sound like a robot to everybody?
Yeah, I think he's turned into a robot.
I think Brady just turned into a robot, and he's gone.
Wow.
Wow, just like his quiz career, he's gone.
Today, Brady. Really fragile.
Well, he had a really good story. Yeah, so Phil, you were really good at just sitting on that sensor just correctly so you can get up, right?
There's just for people who are, all the listeners out there who aren't deeply familiar with Nazarene Bible quizzing.
Very small percentage.
And we gotta talk to you about the difference between kids Bible quizzing and teen Bible quizzing. Kids Bible quizzing, you sit with this weird
box.
It's a box and there's they're all the same. So there's an industry of people who manufacture these Bible quiz boxes, and then it's got these 4 wood little slat things, and they read you multiple choice, and then on the count of 3 you pull your slat out. Which is it's such a specific way to handle trivia, but then it's very Nazarene, but then teen Bible quizzing is Jeopardy, but the buzzer's under your butt for reasons I cannot explain. They were like, what if instead of the little thing with your hand, we made you sit on it instead? So yeah, Justin, to your point, the people who are really good at teen Bible quizzing, not only absolutely really know their Bible, but they also are very good at
teetering on
in the woods.
Enough pressure on their butt to barely activate this sensor, and then they can stand up really quickly. And I was always pretty good at that.
Is Bible quizzing still a thing in the Nazarene Church? Evan?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say it's not in our church.
But now the kids decorate their own boxes, and we have a whole set of wooden, fancy instead of cardboard boxes with the wooden slats.
Oh my goodness!
Got a bigger budget now.
You do need a medical liability,
it's not
though.
Widely participated.
Yeah.
You need medical liability because when one of those 6-year-olds slams that wooden case in front of him and smashes their finger. You got
Oh,
blood
yeah.
everywhere. Nazarene cussing going
That's
on.
right.
It's all the
Yes.
fun stuff.
I mean, that's the decorations on the box. It's
That's
just
true. It's the
crying blood everywhere.
Just blood splatter.
Is
Oh.
Evan
Circa 1996.
is teen Bible quizzing still a really big thing, or did they just shut that down when I left?
Shut it down when you left.
Listen, none of quizzing is big anymore, but it is still a thing. I mean, they still have World Quiz, and we have a kid at our church who quizzes, and 2 teens from the district who practice together. But so they should have just shut it down. We need you to come and give some lessons.
Yeah, Phil
I-
needs to take over.
I just remember. I remember walking out at a couple weeks ago. You guys were talking about main event basketball, and my memories of main event involve a little bit of basketball, but also just walking out with this haul of trophies, like 8 trophies, and just feeling like the king of the world. Like this is as cool as it gets, and everything's gonna happen for me now. It's like that feeling that a person gets when they make a game-winning 3-pointer, except not that at all. I found recently. I was at my mom's, and I found a box of all of my old trophies, which she hadn't thrown away because either she's a hoarder or thought that I wanted them or something. I don't know. But I took them and I set them up in my house for a while, and my wife was not impressed.
She's like, you need to take that down.
Put those in the garage.
Well, I think
you need to save them till your girls are a little bit older, so you can be like, look at what Dad used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they will think you're the coolest.
Absolutely. Well, sure. I don't know, because I really don't want our girls to be too competitive, mostly because I don't want to have to pay to put them through club sports.
Well, that's fair.
Also, though, you don't want to have to give them. You don't want them to grow up with a complex of, they're never going to live up to what Dad did.
Yeah, well, for sure. No, I'm really hoping that they're into drawing or something that is very chill, and you don't have to take your kids across the country for competitions.
Well, show them Microsoft Paint.
But can also win you trophies. Can also win you trophies at main event.
Fair, that's true. I forgot that there was a draw. Main event was sort of like a county fair. But
without the animals.
I think Phil needs to be the marketing coordinator for the Nazarene Church for all of these things. I think that's his new job, as the unofficial marketing coordinator for the Nazarene Church.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yep.
I forgot that there was drawing.
Yeah. Did we get Brady back finally? Is he able to unmute?
I'm here, but I might be gone again. Do I still sound like a robot?
No. You sound perfect. You sound perfect. You're in the same room where your dad filmed his episode, and then he fell out of his chair. When Brady and when BJ or I were on with him, he was reaching over for a cord, and he fell out of his chair during the recording. That was pretty funny. But no, you sound good.
Well, thank you.
So you were talking about quizzing and what you learned from Phil.
Yeah, so I didn't learn anything from Phil. But
okay,
I would quiz on his team, and I never studied, so I would just stand up and answer. I would just keep it really generic, like Paul or Jesus. And they would always tell me I was wrong, but the captain of the team could stand up and challenge the quiz master. And Phil could confuse all the quiz masters and get them to overturn the call. So I had 4 or 5 questions that I should not have gotten right, but Phil argued his way in on my behalf.
Yeah, that's the other really interesting part of teen quizzing. We've established it's Jeopardy with your butt, but also you get to litigate, that whether or not you're right or wrong is subjective, and if you don't agree with the quizmaster, you can get up and do some combination of litigation and bullying to basically get them to overturn their call.
Or i.e. Nazarene apologetics.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can get up and be like,
Prior
I know that what you heard
prior
was Brady
to
say.
our quizzing days. Sorry, Phil, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Prior to our quizzing days, my brother quizzed and he studied almost as much as Brady. And he was at a quiz at our church. And that was when, once upon a time, they would just call our names because they knew us. But sometimes they would be like A1 or A2, you know.
Yeah.
So Aaron jumps on a super generic question to which the answer is God. And Aaron jumps up and he says, A1. And Aaron goes, oh, that's me. God. And sits down. And the other team stands up and goes, challenge, Aaron is not God. And the quiz master goes, Aaron, whoever his, team captain stood up, and they just go, Aaron, sit down, be quiet. Overturned.
So what? What was gonna ask? I just forgot. Okay, good radio here, people. Evan, what do you have going on this Thanksgiving? Oh, sorry.
I want to say something first.
Go
Y'all
ahead.
said that you were going to go through all of Nate's nicknames when he was interviewed.
We're good.
Oh,
And
we're good.
We did.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Evan, do you have more
Yep.
to add to that? We might have forgot some. I'm sure you have some more that you could probably add too.
I don't know what name he wrote under when they were writing the church paper, but I'm gonna pass because I only knew one, and it's probably not worth repeating. But I didn't
No,
know what the
it's-
other ones were and was curious.
Well, he's in my phone right now as Boomer. There's a backstory behind that.
Boomer, your brother Evan named me Yuri Nate.
That's
Oh.
the one I
Team
remember.
camp, yeah. Because I was squished between him and someone else in the back of Bill's car, I think. And
On purpose?
we were driving somewhere. I don't know what we were doing. I don't remember. Because we had too much punching with the boxing club we had, so I don't remember a lot. But we went somewhere, and I said I had to go to the bathroom, and that's when Aaron said, "Okay, Yuri Nate." That was that one. But Justin for some reason started calling me Boomer. That's all
Well,
I got. That's all I got.
is there another one we missed?
No, we're good. I don't.
We're
No,
good.
Yuri was the only one I knew.
Evan mentioned something about the paper. I don't clue me
We
in
had
about
a
this.
we had a newsletter.
It's a
that-
newsletter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was after my time.
We did like
wasn't
the
it?
top 10.
Yeah,
We made fun
I
of
think
NASCAR.
that was Nate and I. We made fun of a lot of things that Michael Downs liked.
Yeah.
Just kind of
Well, that's pretty
Well, we
easy.
Michigan.
Michigan, K-State
K-State.
football, Kansas basketball. I don't know, just everything in the state of Kansas.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Roller Coaster Tycoon. Good old Michael. Does anybody know where Michael Downs is at nowadays?
He's in Nixa.
Nixa, Missouri,
Oh.
where Jason Bourne's from.
He's
Fun
like
fact.
recently there, right? Didn't they just move?
Hmm
So, are you saying Michael Downs is Jason Bourne?
Yeah.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
I mean, not in real life, Justin, but in the movie for sure.
Just like Rush Hour 2. Best movie ever. I don't.
That's how he got through the pop cans that we set up in front of his office before
Oh
he
my
came
gosh.
back from vacation.
Oh my gosh.
He deserved it. It's okay.
That was one of the funnier pranks. We also wasn't that the year they went to, didn't we saran wrap his car one year too?
No, I thought it was Bill.
Well,
We did Michael as well.
I
and we
think
put-
y'all did at camp, and he was ticked.
Yeah, we had to clean it up. Everything that we ended up doing to Michael Downs, I had to clean up. So that was
Yeah.
not much fun.
sorry about that, man.
Yeah, that's
Nate, were you
the
the
joys of
person-
living next door to the church.
Yeah, Nate, were you the person who? I want to say one time somebody put like a dead fish underneath your car seat or something. Your driver's
Yeah, that was my car. Yeah.
Yeah, Phil hasn't gotten to that episode yet.
Talk about that.
I found out it was.
You
some
can edit this
friend-
out in post, right?
No, we're good. We're good. We still like talking about it.
It was BJ.
It was not me. I had nothing to do with that.
You,
Truly,
you
And that
forgave it.
was
like
that
what a
was or
mean-
was not Brackup Girl.
No.
No, that wasn't Bracket
I
Girl.
don't. I think I don't know what happened to her, but no, it was some friend. Her name's Katie Wassenberg. Just a friend.
So Nate was a pioneer before everyone legitimately met their spouse online. Nate was going into AOL chat like when it was like super sketchy and meeting girls from all over Lincoln, and he just never knew what he was gonna get.
That's right.
So you were ahead of your time, Nate.
That's right. Gotta find them somewhere.
You discovered catfishing before it was a.
I probably did. I never had one.
Well, that you know of.
Yeah, I never met him. I mean,
That is-
Because every time you're supposed to meet, they kept finding reasons why, like maybe not this weekend.
No, there was one where we all walked from Brady, the Thielander's house for 4th of July, and I was supposed to meet someone, and I never met. I could have been kidnapped that night, actually, but I'm here. I made it.
Nate came back and he looked slightly different.
Oh, speaking of which, that's what Brady's news article wanted to be about. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah. Online is fun. I did do some online dating.
I remember giving Evan her AOL sign-on name. Do you remember that, Evan?
You did.
Yeah.
100%.
Evan's like, what's AOL? What's the internet? And no, I'm just joking.
Wait, you gave her name? Like, were you like
Her
rolling out-
username.
were you, like,
Her
were you still
username.
dealing names?
Yeah, I was dealing names.
Call Justin. He'll get
Since
you
my
an
name's-
AOL sign on Nate.
Today's the day. Because everyone always called me Even, which was
Yeah,
stupid and annoying. And
I was
so
called Yuri,
Justin
mate.
started calling me.
you're okay.
I mean, it could've been
You're okay.
even worse.
Oh my
And so
gosh.
he started calling me Odd. So I ended up with
Oh,
Even and Odd.
I remember that. Justin, that's what
Still my
Justin
junk
does.
email to this day.
I was gonna say, does your AOL email still work?
100%. And when we were in Chicago one night, a couple friends and I were sitting around and we were talking about how, prolific AOL Instant Messenger was in our lives. And we're like, does that thing still work? And my friend remembered her password. And so we went in and you could sign on, but obviously no one else in the whole world was on that night.
That's just like my MySpace page. I have nobody in my top 7 anymore.
I've been trying to chat with all of you for years. I just thought you were busy.
That
Yeah.
was just the one night that Brady wasn't on. Little misconnection there.
Yeah. I still use the dial-up too. We just get the discs. It's like 50 free hours of AOL.
Juno, the Juno
Yeah.
discs.
Going through them.
How many Juno email addresses did you have when you signed up for those things?
Yeah,
Oh.
at least 50.
Oh goodness! But what other thing? I see here, Evan. You've listened. What's some highlights of the episodes you've listened to? You said you took some notes about some things. What are something
did.
from the episodes that you've enjoyed so far?
Definitely, I've super enjoyed the interviews. I've laughed out loud the most at those for sure with Brady and Nate. Love Rod and Mary, so it was super fun to hear them. And then just a couple weeks ago, I think, when you guys were super vulnerable just about your own journeys and your struggle and the reality of how life can really suck and be super hard, and that we can be friends through that. And sometimes you have to reach out and you need those 3:00 friends and 3 a.m. friends. And so I've really, really appreciated that, and just some of the ways BJ, that you have articulated the truth and the beauty of the gospel, to just say that, like, God still can be good, and the local church and people not only can, but likely will fail you. But even if they do, that doesn't mean that God's done with you, and it doesn't mean that the church is bad or horrible, or, it's still the hope of the world, lived out through the local church. And so I've just appreciated your vulnerability and honesty and pointing to truth through that. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I think it's interesting too. We're all at different stages in our life now, and we've all, by age, if not anything else, we've grown up a little bit, and we've got a little bit of experience under our belt. And that, in that same vein, I think what's really interesting is how life changes our perspective for, when we do have kids. And Evan, as you are a children's pastor, and you influence so many children over the years in such great ways, and still having conversations with my own kids who grew up in the same church and understand all of that. I know those are conversations I've had with Brady as well, but all of us being products of the local church in some way, shape, or form. But then to have that for the next generation, and just to watch, I just get to watch my kids now. I mean, my daughter's getting ready, she's a senior, and she's getting ready to go off to a Nazarene school, and I'm sitting here listening to her talk about her perspective and her awareness, and things that I haven't verbally said to her, but that they're able to pick up, which again, it just takes that influence, and that, if we're just being real and real people, it does make a difference, and people can see that if their eyes are open to that. So that's good. So thanks for sharing that, Evan. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and appreciate that, Evan. And I with this group of people, I mean, I don't talk. I mean, I talk to you folks, via text message or phone, but I could literally have a conversation with into a deep conversation anytime, just because of over the years of the friendships that we've had. And I think that's what's unique about this little small group of us that have just continued to stay in conversation, even though that we've maybe had a few years or months in between where we didn't talk. But it's always, I know that when I reconnected, especially with Phil, I mean, Phil's a lot younger than me, but we just hit it right back off again about stories and stuff that we were having fun with. So, so I appreciate that, guys and ladies. Forget it's not just the guy show now.
Then we're talking to you, Evan, you, Diane.
Yeah. Oh. But.
So one of the things I was thinking about as we were sitting here, I was a part of every person in this big group here, their wedding, and many of us were in each other's weddings. So I thought it'd be cool. We could go back in, like, if we could kick one of us out of your wedding, which would you choose? Who would you choose not to have in your wedding now?
Justin.
I already got booted.
Yeah.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, BJ. Why don't you go
Which
first?
one of us, BJ? Which one?
Oh,
of us
never
did you
mind.
do?
Sorry.
Not which one of
Oh,
My
us?
bad.
yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
another.
I forgot the
another
rules.
night.
Well, BJ, the night before our wedding, bicked his head like down to
Yes,
the
he did.
skin. So I think I'm kicking him out.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
Well, and didn't your head get burnt when we golfed the day before too? Was that
No,
the
I
same
had-
weekend?
I had a hat on because Brady bought us all nice new hats.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
those
That's
are
right.
nice hats.
Yeah, where is it at? Do you know where
I
yours is
don't
at?
know where it is. Sorry,
Oh.
I don't golf. You guys already made that clear that I'm not a good golfer.
If it's backwards, you're good.
I got skills.
So
I just
Ray's kicking out BJ, huh? And then
I just remember in my wedding, the rehearsal, the pastor did not enjoy a brother of mine, and I remember in Jeff's wedding, the pastor did not also enjoy a brother of mine. So I already know where mine is.
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't kick anyone out. They were amazing.
So we got two answers, and both of them are the brothers getting kicked out. So hey, we did our job, Justin.
Yeah, we're doing good. It sounds like I'm a really good influence on people.
So speaking of Jeff's wedding, we all fly out there. It's me, Nate, and Phil fly out there together. There's some funny stories from that trip for sure. But the craziest thing is Phil's friend has this, like, I think it's like a Corvette or some tiny little convertible that the four of us are in, and he's like our only ride to the airport. So the wedding's all over, and all the groomsmen have these tuxes that have to be returned, and somehow we get pinned with like taking the tuxes back. So we have to put the top down in the convertible because we don't have room in the car. There's four of us, all of our suitcases, and Jeff made us return the tuxes when we didn't have a car to do it. So I'm still upset about that.
I thought it was Jerry that told us we had to, but it was probably Jeff. But yeah, thanks, Jeff. So let's kick out Jeff.
So let's kick out Jeff.
Get me out from my wedding. Okay.
But also in that, Brady, do you remember? Yeah, Phil's friend's dorm or apartment, they had no AC.
Yeah.
No AC, and it was like 85 degrees at night. That was the worst sleep of my life.
Yeah, we did not sleep.
It was a great time though. I enjoyed that California trip. That was one of the best trips of my life, to see Jeff married and then hang out in LA or Huntington Beach. I don't remember what university was that at, Phil? Do you remember? Was that Azusa?
Azusa Pacific is where he went, but I think we were just in an apartment. I don't think it was a dorm.
I couldn't remember if it was his dorm or not.
Yeah. Jeff, can you remember who is it that Brady and Nate and I stayed with for the wedding itself?
Oh, geez. I don't know. It's like some...
Perfect. That's okay. It's not like your in-laws or anything, right?
No. It's like some of their friends.
Great. Okay, because Nate and Brady and I we're staying at these like strangers' houses, and Brady and I think are like just turned 18. Like we're really young and haven't spent a lot of time traveling, and so this is like a big trip that we all go on together. And then we don't have any money, so Jeff hooks us up with some friends of some friends of some friends, and we go and stay at their house. And what I remember was that first they had a blind dog, and they were like, I think they loved their dog, but they were like sort of weird and mean to it. And we were trying to like go inside the house one day from outside, and the dog was following us, and the dad was like, oh, nope, you don't come in here anymore. And it like became very clear to us that what he meant was that ever since this dog became blind, it was never again allowed inside their house. And they had like a big pool outside. And so I remember the whole time we were there just being like, this dog is going to drown on our watch. He's going to like wander into the pool. But it
never did.
It its surroundings pretty well. I also remember two other things. One, I remember that they had a hot tub, and it was like a big deal. They were going to let us sit in this hot tub, and so we sat in this hot tub, and it was fun. And the next day, they were like, "What are you guys thinking about doing?" And we're like, "Well, we were thinking about sitting in that hot tub again. That's pretty fun." And the guy was like totally stone faced. He's like, "No, we're not going to do that." All right. No. I guess not. But then I also remember, like, they were very straight laced. They were very kind to us, and
they were.
Hospitable. I mean, they let 3 strangers come and stay in their house. I also remember that we watched Sideways in their house.
Yep.
Movie.
Yep.
And it's got some scenes in it that all of us were like, I don't know what they're gonna think if they wake up and see us in their living room watching Sideways.
That's why we weren't allowed back in the hot tub.
Yeah. We weren't allowed in the hot tub or the house ever again.
And we were going to the amusement park that next day, and we were talking about, oh man, we might get like motion sickness. So the lady of the house was like, oh, I've got some Dramamine for you. So she goes and grabs Dramamine. It expired in like 1994.
Just pushing pills to us.
Oh goodness.
Man, that was a really good trip, though. That was fun.
Yeah, that was a great trip.
So, Jeff, who are you? I mean, we're kicking you out of your wedding, but like, who
Yeah.
are you kicking out of your wedding?
Who am I kicking out?
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys
It's
can all
probably-
just stay home.
He's just like,
Deal.
we'll just do it without everybody.
I already did. So can I come this time instead
Yeah, well, I'll make a trade.
of? Okay, Trey.
I'll make a trade.
Okay, trade Justin for BJ.
I think I'm getting kicked out and traded from every wedding.
Yeah.
It's fine though. Well, I'm okay with that.
Well, I only had 27 people at my wedding because my ex-wife was scared of people, I guess. But I only had Justin and Brady there, and Brady already kicked me out of his. So I'm sorry, Justin. I guess I gotta
Yes.
kick you out, man.
I win. It's the most points, right? It's the most kicked outs you win. It's a good thing, right? Oh.
Who would you kick out, Justin? I mean, we were all like 15, 13 years old.
Yeah.
12.
The fun fact about that wedding was I was the only one not a teenager because I was 20. Everybody else was in their teenage years, which is kind of really odd to say. I gave that as a fun fact the other day at work, and people looked at me like I was crazy, but I guess we were crazy getting young. Yeah, I don't know who I'd kick out. My brother already kicked me out of his, so I guess I'm gonna
Yeah.
kick Nate out. I don't know.
Oh, that's fine.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I've already been kicked out of everybody, so now I just feel like it's vengeance that I just kick you guys all out of my wedding. So I know I'm kind of boring. I don't have anything good to say.
It's okay.
The other thing that we haven't talked about that all of this group participated in was volleyball.
Church volleyball.
Oh, yeah.
That was some serious stuff.
I think I played 1 year,
Especially when
1 or
you
2
won
years.
the championship.
We were a dominant volleyball
We
team,
were.
and I think like the B League of the church bracket. Lincoln.
Yeah. That was some
Whatever.
fun times for sure. Those were good times, and we talked about. There it is.
Nice.
Justin has his.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot I randomly had this as something my mom had in storage that she just gave me a bunch of stuff, and it says Inner City Church Youth Volleyball League number 1, 1997. What a good
There
year!
you go.
97. Yeah, you were in. I didn't even live in Lincoln yet.
Yeah, so
No, because
we played back then.
BJ and Brady just, the Thielanders just showed up that year.
Yeah.
I like how Justin's like, man, I forgot I had this framed and hanging in my office right above
No,
my chair.
literally, look at. I know that nobody's, but this is like an envelope full of stuff my mom gave me, and it's just been sitting by my computer. And I was like, "Oh," I showed the
Yeah.
kids the other day, and they're like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Well, this is something that we should frame." But
She found that next to their sake
See,
bottle. from
Phil, keep the
1965.
trophies.
Yeah, got to keep those
threw 'em away,
trophies.
We owe it all to Linda Stansberry. If she hadn't driven us to be our
Preach.
best, then so shout out to Linda,
We love
Coach.
you.
Inner City Lincoln Church Volleyball
Yeah.
Coach Hall of Fame.
Coach Hall of Fame. Oh, but yeah, those are the days.
Was James Snook on that team?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And Phil, you brought James, right?
yeah. James was my next door neighbor for a few years.
Ah, okay, that's what it was. I was trying to
Yeah.
remember.
You remember
Yeah,
when?
James had a wicked. So none of us were technically proficient in volleyball, but every once in a while James would hit the ball just right and just wail on somebody like we're talking D1 level power, and just right at someone's face, you know?
Oh, good. Poor James.
Which is
remember-
which is classic James, because James is like the meanest person in the world, but he would like he was so funny that you weren't sure, you didn't like even feel bad. Like he would just like say the meanest things to you and then kind of like smile and cross his eyes and you're like, oh, that's funny. That's not
Oh.
mean.
Hey, guys, hang on one second. I got to bring
Oh.
somebody on real quick. Hang on. No, I'm joking. No, but I remember when James got in the way of my car one time in the parking lot. Was that during fireworks one time, or was that just during a regular
Got in the
basketball
way
game?
of my car. What a gaslighting way to describe that.
You ran him over.
So tying James to another person we've talked about, Michael Downs, the James, when he first started coming to church, he'd always wear this shirt that was a Michigan football shirt, and it had like somebody flipping off, like it was just a huge middle finger in the middle of the shirt. So for weeks, Michael Downs like tried to trade him one of our Power team shirts so he would give him that, so he'd stop wearing the middle finger Michigan shirt.
He was like it was like trying to save James, but also like
He wanted to keep it.
He wanted to keep it, yep.
Shirt.
Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness.
And James was probably like, "No, this is a cool shirt. Why would I give you this shirt? It's awesome."
Yeah, we had lots of good times with
Oh.
James and Michael Downs. I don't think they saw eye to eye.
No, they didn't. Not at all. Well, BJ, what are we gonna do? Some picks this week with the whole crew, or what do we got going on?
Well, we can, or we can skip it. It doesn't matter. It's up to you guys. So
Maybe we let Evan pick and see how she does against in Phil. They haven't picked it on the show before.
yeah, for sure. I'm open to it. It's fine. We can do it. Since I'm the keeper of the stats, Jeff was the first perfect score of our guests that came on. He was a perfect 0-5, and that started.
I'm just trying to prop up the hosts.
I appreciate that because it really set me back on fire, and I actually took the lead this week. So, and I appreciate that. So, we can do picks if you want to do picks. We got normally what we do is we pick 5 games, all football. So unless, but it's all football this week as well. So if you guys want to join us, you're welcome to join us, and that's usually how we kind of wrap up the show and talk about sports, something that we think we know a little bit about, but we prove ourselves wrong over and over and over. So this week I got a couple games that I figured nobody on this show would even care about. So that's why I picked them, so that there was no insight. There's nobody can accuse us of insider trading on the games this week. So the first 2 games in the NFL, we've got the Rams at the Saints. The Rams are 2.5-point favorites at the Saints in New Orleans. Nolans, if you're local, 3:05 p.m. Central Time in the Dome in New Orleans. Rams at the Saints. Who you got?
Who's picking first?
I'm gonna give the Rams the full 3 points.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm gonna round up.
Evan's got the Rams. Brady?
I'll take the Rams. I'll give them 3.5 points.
Phil, who you got?
I'll take the Rams by like 67.
Perfect. And Jeff, who you got?
Well, I was gonna take the Rams, but I think Phil outbid me, so I'm just gonna hold.
$1, Bob.
You're gonna hold.
I don't think I can beat him.
Okay. All right, that's fair. We lost Nate. Oh, here he comes.
I think he's back finally.
Nate, Rams or Saints? Who you got?
No,
Nope, he's not back
he's
yet.
just.
Justin.
I'll pick the Saints.
Okay. Justin's with the Saints.
Nate, is your audio working? Can you talk?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, Rams or Saints?
The Rams.
And Nate with the Rams. Okay. Good pick. I think we'll see. Next game we have is the 49ers. I don't think anybody cares about the 49ers. Going to the Buffalo Bills. It's a Sunday night game. So 49ers at the Bills. Bills are 7-point favorites in that one. So we'll go backwards. Nate, who you got on that one?
The Bills, because I doubt Brock Purdy's going to play again. So
Okay. Jeff?
Yeah, Bills. Give me Bills all
Bills.
the way.
Phil?
Bills, my 82.
Bills by 82.
82.
I love it. I love it. Brady?
I'll pick a tie.
Tie. I like
Tie.
that. Evan?
Bills.
Bills. Bills. Justin?
Bills.
Bills. I'll take the Bills as well. Perfect. Now we'll flip to the college game. We always pick the biggest point spread, so the team that should win has the biggest point spread. There were 2 over 26-point spreads. This one's in the Big Ten, so we're a little bit more familiar with it. Indiana, number 5 ranked Indiana, 10-1, hosting Purdue. 29.5 points, though. 29.5 points that Purdue is supposed to lose by. So, Justin, who you got in this one?
Well, Indiana's going to win, but they're not covering.
They're not covering. Okay,
No,
so you got Purdue in the points. All right, I think-
agree.
Okay, Evans agreeing. All right, Brady.
I'll take Indiana. They're mad they lost.
Okay, and Phil.
In a rare twist of fate, both teams decide that they don't really like football anymore, too violent, and they play volleyball instead. And Purdue wins.
Purdue
They have
wins.
a better volleyball team.
It's like we're on. Wait, don't tell me.
Oh my gosh.
I love it, Jeff. Who you got?
You got to quit making me follow Phil.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take Indiana by, I don't know, several.
50 points.
Several.
Several.
Yeah.
Can you get that bet on the books? Indiana
Yeah.
by several.
I think so.
I want the Indiana volleyball match.
Has
That
anybody
would be
tried
great,
typing
so.
it in yet?
Type it in several.
Nate, who you got in that one?
yeah, Indiana, they need style points, so they're going to win by 30. They need to show the committee that they deserve to be in the playoff.
All right, perfect. Well, the next one is the closest or the best. I've tried to pick the 2 closest teams in the rankings. 17 versus 18 this week. 18 South Carolina at number 17 Clemson. Clemson is favored by 2.5. It's an 11 a.m. game. That's what Justin likes to know about. So I'll go first on this one. I'm going Clemson in this one. So Jeff, you go next then, since we're not letting you follow Phil.
We'll make Phil go last.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Clemson too. They're trying to buy their way into a playoff spot.
Perfect.
Hope that chaos reigns. So
Perfect. Nate, who you got in this one?
Steve Spurrier, so the Gamecocks.
Okay.
South Carolina. All right. Brady?
South Carolina.
South Carolina. I was there right before the hurricane hit. It's kind of a fun place to be.
So Clemson. I'm changing mine to Clemson.
I'm changing mine to Clemson.
Evan?
Gamecocks.
South Carolina. And Phil, give us your expert opinion here.
Are we talking football or Bible quizzing?
Bible.
Yes.
Bible quizzing competition.
Yes. Bible quizzing with a team named Gamecocks.
Dab Sweeney takes that one every day. I'm picking Clemson.
Clemson with the
Yeah.
Bible quizzing win. Perfect.
Yeah.
Justin, who you
He'd
got?
be a good coach. Bible
Dab.
coach.
Dabo would be a good Bible quizzing coach. I'll take South Carolina.
You know, I would take Matt Rule over Dabo in the Bible quizzing coaching competition because Matt Rule is Nazarene, so that's got to go for something, doesn't it? So
We're definitely going to ask him about Bible quizzing growing up then.
yeah. Well, the last game is part of one of the reasons why we've all come together is because we've all met in Nebraska. So we've got the Cornhuskers. I already know who Brady's going to pick because he's got a role. He's got to maintain in this friend group. But we got Nebraska at 6-5 going to Iowa 7-4. Iowa are right now today, as of today, are 6-point favorites in this game. So who wants to go first? I'll let you Brady, we'll just get you out of the way because we know who you're going to pick.
Maybe.
You're on mute.
Well, just like what we really wanted in our friendship is just mute Brady when he makes the pick. Oh, we're good on that. Okay, Brady, you want to try it again?
Nope.
Okay.
He picks Nebraska.
Yeah, I can see it right in his background in the room he's in. He's picking
That's
Nebraska.
a nice jersey.
So, yeah.
All right. Phil, who you got in this one? Let's give your expert opinion here.
I've got Nebraska on this one, partially because I'm an optimist, and you could, in theory, have picked Nebraska in every game for the last 10 years and had a coin flip chance of being right, except it was a coin flip that always went the wrong way. But I'm optimistic. Yeah. I think we've got it.
Good. I like that. I like that optimism. Nate, why don't you follow Phil this time?
It's no, Iowa's going to destroy us. It's at night. We're not that great. We got 6 wins. That's all I care about. Moving on.
All right, Evan, who you got?
I'm gonna spike your turkey.
I'm gonna give it to the Huskers, praying that at least Iowa doesn't cover the spread.
Okay,
I don't know if the Huskers will get there, but I'm sure hoping that they do. And if they don't, they'll still cover the spread.
Not bad, not bad. I like that. I like that thinking. Jeff, it's all up to you, man.
I'm gonna be optimistic on this one. I think last week's game was like we saw Raiola go from like where he was back to the beginning of the season, like as that game went on. So he's back in Colorado game form, and Iowa's defense is not as good as it's been. So I think they take it. Give me Nebraska.
Awesome. Well, Justin, we know who you're going to pick.
Yeah.
But go ahead and give us your expert opinion.
Expert opinion: Nebraska by 10.
There it is.
There it is. I mean, they didn't make me a liar last week, so I think if Nebraska can at least stop their best running back to 150 yards rushing, I think we can win. But Iowa doesn't do anything besides run the ball, but they're really good at it. So, and we're lately been really bad at stopping it. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be 20 degrees out on a night game in Iowa City, so that should be entertaining.
It would be good. I'm going to side with Evan on this one as well. I think that because of what you said, Justin, in Nebraska, struggling to stop the run when you got a dominant factor on the other side, it comes into play. But also this supposed rivalry game, which I think this one's a joke in my opinion, but you have Nebraska who loses by single digits, well, for the last 45 years, it seems like. So, if it's a running game and it's 9-6, then Nebraska covers the points there. So I'm going Nebraska. I hope they win, but if they don't, I'm siding with Evan. So I'll give Evan all the credit on this one. So
good job, Evan.
I'll take it.
Well, thanks for picking with us, guys. I appreciate it. Anybody have who's traveling the furthest for Thanksgiving this year?
Well, I'm going like up the stairs. So,
Evan, Phil, you traveling?
Just to Lincoln, not very much. But it looks like I'm in the lead so far, so we'll see.
I'm going.
The whole crew's coming down.
So I'm driving 3 hours.
But is it still in town? It doesn't count. You're just driving really slowly.
Yeah,
I,
slowing down. Can't
I'm,
even
I
see
can
I'm
the-
stretch
really,
10 hours and 8.
I'm really glad Jeff's not traveling far because one time he flew out to California to see his girlfriend, and then he didn't hang out with us for like 4 weeks because he was jet lagged.
Jet lag.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Oh, but oh my gosh, Evan, what do you have? I think we were talking earlier, but what do you have going on for Thanksgiving this year? Are you
Whole
traveling?
crew's coming down.
Okay.
No, Aaron and his crew are coming down, and Kara and her crew are coming down. And so I always create Christmas games and shenanigans to happen. And so this time we have even more space to do it. So I'm going to make them tie the squeaky rubber chickens to their feet and blindfold somebody with a pool noodle and let them wail on each other. And it'll be awesome. Family bonding.
I might get a pool noodle just hitting Nate this
Can
weekend. too.
you video this? This would be awesome to see.
Sure thing.
That's great. That's great. Well, does anybody have any closing words they want to just impart on the world of the Hasn't Been 3 Days podcast? We want to give you the stage that is very small at this point. Good.
It went well. No one raised their hand, but
I'm trying to pick because I had a small list of
Nice.
things that haven't been brought up yet.
oh, okay.
But I think I'm going to tell the story since Phil and Brady are here. When I moved to college, I came back to visit, and the church, they were asking for like specific donations. And I think, Jeff, I think you were there too. But I walked into church, and you guys came up to me. We hadn't seen each other for a long time. And your primary question for me was, what's yellow rickrack? Because it was on the list. And you had confused the fabric wavy stuff that is yellow rickrack with riffraff. And because you were like, we just thought we should get a bunch of crap out of our attic and just spray paint it yellow. You're problem solvers.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why they're the leaders of America now. But
That's
And
good.
then I'll give you this, Justin. You have a hot take on where milk belongs in the refrigerator.
I do. Milk has a very unique spot. It should be. I'm not really a door milk person. It has to be in a certain spot in the fridge on the left hand side. Is usually the good spot. Down at the bottom is usually where I put it. But I don't know if that's what my take used to be or still is. I don't remember.
Yeah, and you would adamantly talk about how anyone who didn't put it there was clearly a psychopath. And when you were house shopping, you would check people's fridge to see where the milk was, and that was a criteria for whether or not you could consider purchasing the house.
Well, I mean, I was potentially going to be inheriting the refrigerator, so yeah, I didn't want any bad juju going on.
But not their milk.
Yeah, I know. Well, you never know. I don't know.
Actually, that was one of Justin's conditions in his written offer.
Can I have your milk?
Clause 10 was like, leave the milk.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I have a lot of problems. We know.
Yep. Mhm. Preach.
I think it's cool in terms of final words. Just like I can't imagine this podcast would be much fun for most people to listen to with all of us saying all this random stuff, but for me it's a ton of fun because these are like all of my closest friends in so many important moments of my life, and just to see everybody together, and that's just been crazy. I mean, I can think of every person here just like really critical points in my life, and even to this day, like just how important everybody was to me in this circle, and just the value of friendship and how much that means in the world. And just seeing all of these faces on the screen, I just realized how blessed I am. There's just probably a lot of people that would die to have what I have in friends. And so it probably wasn't great to listen to, but it sure was fun to record. So it's good to see you all.
Thank you, Braid. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Justin and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. There's people that have listened to the podcast that know Justin, that don't know me, and they get to see the interaction. Brady, when you were on, we kind of talked about just the friend dynamic of the show and what it's become. There's people that I've gotten private messages from that know me from past lives and past churches and all the stuff, and they don't know Justin, but they listen and they love it. I have actually gotten some private messages from people that know all of us that listened every single week because they just absolutely roll on the floor laughing at all the stuff that's going on. So I guarantee you they are going to be listening this week. And I can't imagine that I won't get some message back from either one of them that will just be tears of laughter. So the influence that the 7 of us have had on the world that we don't even realize is out there for the good. Just like you said, Brady, just as a blessing to be positive and enjoy some laughs, if nothing else. So it is a joy. It is a privilege to know you all. Anybody else? One last word before I shut us down.
Can't top those. That was great. Good to talk to you all.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Evan, for coming on and just being friends. This, again, as Brady said when he was on, this is what the show is about. Justin and I, we've been friends for almost 30 years. We talk every day still, and it's pretty crazy to think about. But all of us that are on the show tonight have been instrumental in all of our lives, as Brady just said. So thank you guys for taking the time out tonight and for being our friend. And it means a lot, more than you know, more than you'll ever know. So thank you for that. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving. And for those of you listening in, here's to a lack of communication of irrelevant age news. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.